Have you ever felt an inexplicable void, a deep sense of emptiness that seems to engulf your very existence? Today we delve into the enigma of emptiness, an emotional state that's as mysterious as it is prevalent. This emptiness, it's a chameleon. It takes on different forms and is felt differently by everyone. It's not a feeling that discriminates. It can strike anyone, anywhere. It doesn't care about your age, your gender, or your life circumstances. You could be at the peak of your career, surrounded by loved ones, and still, this feeling may sneak up on you, like a shadow that's always lurking. It's a universal experience, yet it's hardly ever discussed. It's an emotion that's often misunderstood and mistaken for something else. It's a complex conundrum, a puzzle that we're all trying to solve. Understanding this feeling is the first step towards addressing it. Emptiness is not a one-size-fits-all emotion. It manifests differently in different people. We've all felt it at some point, a deep void that feels impossible to fill, like a cavernous echo chamber that amplifies our insecurities and doubts. Let's delve into the many faces of emptiness. It can stem from loneliness, a feeling that can be amplified when we're surrounded by others, yet feel utterly alone. Loneliness isn't just about physical isolation. It's about emotional disconnect. It's the feeling that no one understands you, that you're an outsider looking in. It's a hollow ache that gnaws at your soul, making you feel empty. But emptiness isn't just about loneliness. It can also spring from a lack of purpose or meaning. When we don't have a clear path or a goal to strive for, life can seem pointless, like an endless cycle of days that blur into each other. We might fill our time with distractions, but they're just that, distractions. They can't fill the deep-seated void that comes from a lack of purpose. Emptiness can also stem from dissatisfaction with life. Perhaps you've achieved all the goals you set for yourself, but they didn't bring the fulfillment you expected. Or maybe you're stuck in a rut, doing the same things day in and day out, longing for change but feeling powerless to make it happen. This dissatisfaction can hollow you out, leaving you feeling empty. And then there's the feeling of inadequacy. It's the nagging voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you're a failure. It's the constant comparison with others, the feeling that you're always falling short. This sense of inadequacy can eat away at your self-esteem, creating a vacuum that sucks away your happiness and leaves you feeling empty. These causes can intertwine and amplify one another, creating a vortex of emptiness that's hard to escape. It's a complex web of feelings, each one feeding into and reinforcing the others. Emptiness, then, is not merely a lack of something, but a complex interplay of several factors. Psychologists have long been fascinated by the phenomenon of emptiness. This elusive feeling, often described as a void or a sense of nothingness, can be a complex and multifaceted experience. One of the theories that explore this feeling is the concept of an existential vacuum. This idea, proposed by Austrian psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, suggests that a sense of emptiness can occur when life appears to lack meaning. It's as though we're wandering in a desert of meaninglessness, yearning for a purpose that seems out of reach. This existential vacuum, according to Frankl, is not a pathological condition but a part of the human condition. It's a call to find our unique purpose and direction in life. Another psychological concept associated with emptiness is alienation. This term, rooted in the works of philosophers like Karl Marx and Sigmund Freud, often refers to a sense of disconnection or estrangement from others, from society, or even from oneself. This disconnection can breed a profound sense of emptiness, as if we're adrift in a sea of disconnection, longing for a sense of belonging. The feeling of emptiness is also recognized as a symptom of certain mental health conditions. For instance, in the realm of clinical psychology, emptiness is often associated with depression. It's that persistent feeling of numbness or apathy, a lack of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed. Similarly, in borderline personality disorder, emptiness often manifests as a chronic sense of inner void, a feeling of nothingness that can be distressing and hard to shake off. So, what does this all mean? Well, it emphasizes that the feeling of emptiness is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It can be a consequence of existential struggles, feelings of alienation, or symptoms of mental health conditions. It's a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that can take different forms in different contexts. The feeling of emptiness, therefore, can sometimes be a signal that something deeper is at play. It's important to recognize that emptiness isn't a benign state of being. This feeling of void, this absence of emotion that we label as emptiness, can have far-reaching implications on our daily lives. It's much like a parasite, sapping our vitality and joy, and if left unaddressed, it can lead to a cascade of negative effects. One of the most observable impacts of chronic feelings of emptiness is a stark decrease in productivity. When you're feeling empty, it's as though you're stuck in a fog. Tasks that were once routine can become mountains to climb. The joy of creation, the thrill of achievement, they all seem to fade away, leaving behind a shell of the productive person you once were. Emptiness doesn't just affect us on an individual level, it also seeps into our relationships, straining the bonds we share with others. When we're empty, we often find it difficult to connect with other people on an emotional level. Conversations feel superficial, interactions feel forced. The warmth of companionship is replaced by a cold indifference, slowly pushing our loved ones away. And then there's the physical toll. Yes, emptiness doesn't just confine itself to our minds, it manifests in our bodies too. Chronic feelings of emptiness can lead to sleep disturbances, changes in appetite, and even unexplained aches and pains. Our bodies and minds are interconnected in complex ways, and when one suffers, the other isn't far behind. But here's the thing, we shouldn't just accept these impacts as inevitable. Emptiness isn't a life sentence, it's a signal, a warning from our minds that something isn't quite right. It's our responsibility and in our power to heed this call, to address these feelings rather than ignore them, to seek help when needed, and to fight for our well-being. Ignoring our emptiness doesn't make it disappear, it only allows it to fester. So let us not turn a blind eye. Let us confront our emptiness, for only then can we begin the journey towards wholeness. While emptiness can be overwhelming, it's not insurmountable. There are practical steps that individuals can take to address feelings of emptiness. It's like walking on a path towards a more wholesome life, step by step. One of the most influential steps is seeking professional help. Psychologists, therapists, and counselors are trained to help individuals navigate complex emotions. They can provide you with tools to better understand and manage your feelings of emptiness. Therapy isn't about quick fixes, it's a journey of self-discovery, understanding, and ultimately healing. Next, consider engaging in self-care activities. These are practices that prioritize your physical, mental, and emotional health. This could mean anything from taking a long, relaxing bath to reading a book to going for a run. Self-care is all about doing something that makes you feel good, rejuvenates your spirit, and helps you reconnect with yourself. Another important step is seeking social connection. Emptiness can often make us feel isolated, but remember, humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection and shared experiences. Reach out to friends, join a club or a group that shares your interests, or volunteer for a cause you believe in. Connection can help fill the void and remind you that you're part of a larger community. Last, but certainly not least, is finding purpose or meaning in life. This can often seem like a daunting task, but it doesn't have to be. Start by asking yourself what you enjoy, what you're good at, or what you feel passionate about. It could be anything from painting to teaching to environmental activism. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand or earth-shattering, it just has to be meaningful to you. Remember, the journey towards wholeness is not a race. It's okay to take your time, it's okay to stumble, it's okay to take a break if you need to. The important thing is that you're moving forward, one step at a time. Remember, it's okay to feel empty, but it's also okay to seek help. You're not alone. So, what have we uncovered about this enigmatic feeling of emptiness? Quite a lot, it turns out. We've journeyed through the many faces of emptiness, acknowledging that it is not a one-size-fits-all sensation. It arises from varied sources and manifests uniquely in each individual. We've delved into the fascinating world of psychology to understand the theories behind this feeling. We've seen how it can stem from a lack of fulfillment, a sense of disconnection, or even as a response to overwhelming stress or trauma. We've also looked at the potential impacts of emptiness, how it can affect our mental health, our relationships, and our overall quality of life. But most importantly, we've explored the steps towards wholeness. We've discussed the importance of self-care, seeking professional help when needed, and the power of connection and purpose in healing. Remember, it's not just about filling the void, but understanding it, embracing it, and eventually moving past it.